Hi everybody, and welcome to this week's video. My name's Rebecca of Artistrebeccals, and this is the channel where we have fun with art. Today we're going to be using watercolour and creating one of my seascape scenes in the Bamboo Sketchbook by Hahnemühle. Will it cope? Let's find out. So I've got my little art toolkit palette here that I've taken out of my mini Syndeck roll. And this is all except for two. But basically when I refill this, it will all be Hahnemühle. No, it won't. It will all be Holbein. They both begin with H. They'll both be Holbein watercolours. But it's a bit of a mix of Winsor & Newton and SAA at the minute to make do. So this sketchbook is completely amazing. I mean, just look, it takes the pen, the fibre tip pens, as I call kids, felt tip pens, with the my Scapigliata inspired pieces. There's one, I think there's one in here. It takes the intuitive art with the Caran d'Ache. This is Caran d'Ache, and more of the pen work. This one's my favourite at the minute, the Scapigliata, this one. But we're not here for that today. We are here for doing a seascape scene. Now, just to let you know about you get what is called a bit of warping when you add water, which is when you put your hand over the page, you'll feel slight ridges and bumps. That's the only thing you get when you add water. You can see there's no curling. You close the book, there's no elastic band or anything. You close the book and it's still staying shut because of the thin paper. When you keep it closed, what you'll see, the more you use, is that it's rippled a little. But I love that because it reminds me of old master sketchbooks, you know. So it just depends on your preference, basically. I think we're going to do maybe a double page spread here for just for the joy of it. I'll use my generic water brushes, the fat one and thin for detail. Roll my sleeves up because I don't want them getting wet. And I'm going to start with, I don't know if you can see my palette, but I've got it to one side here. I'm going to be starting wetting the whole page and getting probably the sky and the ocean down first. And I'm going in with this, I think, Prussian blue. It could be. I can't quite remember. Doesn't look like Prussian, does it? Well, anyway, it's definitely not ultramarine because I really don't like ultramarine blue. And I'm going to squeeze more water in, and we're just bringing that pigment down. And I'll probably wet this entire page, actually, so that when I'm adding in the colour, it will just do things itself. And basically, with the ocean, the sky and the water seem to merge. And I love these water brushes for the fact that they have got different sizes. So I really like this flat, large one. It's perfect for doing this kind of work. We might do two separate ones, I'm not sure. Or whether we're just going to carry on and do this. I don't know. Let's see what happens. We're definitely going to wet it though. Minimal curling still. I have flooded it, as you can see. Going in for a bit of green here. And going in with the primary blue that Holbein do, all while it's wet. Trying to make it look like it's all connected and all one piece. So that's that. I love that when you add so much water, you'll get the cauliflower effect and all that loveliness, because that creates a lovely texture in the sky. So it kind of does the work for you. I love that. And I see that in the sky when clouds form, the different textures. It's just really fun. So we're going to let that kind of dry while I've got some bristle coming out. Cut out of these, they are only cheap. So I don't mind pulling them out of it. That's good. And then we'll get the thin one. And I'm going to go in probably with my mixed up kind of neutral tint and brown. And I go over to create some rock formation. And if it starts leaking into the sky, that's like even better. Because at sea, it's rough. And so it's nice to add that stormy effect. Might have to put one of my signature lighthouses into. We'll see how far we get. Just finish off that bit of potion here. Didn't like too much white. There we are. Lovely texture coming. I'm not sure if that is. It's French ultramarine, actually. French ultramarine, I remember now. Because that's why it's granulating. Which is all right. You know, it's good for the sky. But my new set of colours, but I haven't refilled with, that will be the blue. My dark blue will be like a Prussian, I think. I'm not keen on granulating colours. I'd only use them very sparingly for rocks, like I might have used it here for my seascape for that. But I would have been limited, like I'd only use about 2 or 3 colours for that. And I'd be loath to put them in my palette, unless I had a spare space for it. You know, I wouldn't, they're not really kind of my favourite thing. So I'll go in with this primary magenta. We'll just see, using the back of my fingers, if it was dry enough. I think it's all right. if you could hit the subscribe button, guys, if you haven't already. Subscribing is completely free to my channel, and it just is like a follow button. It helps YouTube to know that you have enjoyed my content, and they will share my content with more people. The same goes for hitting that like button. I really appreciate it. Thank you. My sleeve was catching that page that was locking up. Okay, so I've got the lighthouse. Got the first layer. And it is drying actually quite quick, which is good. So we're going to put the yellow in for the light. There we are. And mustn't forget my boatman, which I might do a purple boat. For some reason, I want to do that. And we'll do one over here in the distance. They're the fishermen. Just mixing up some neutral tint and the French ultramarine. Just gives a nice kind of texture. And we've only got some, bit of warping, not much. You can see I am soaking the page. Definitely going to get another one of these sketchbooks. Going to add in a bit more, I think, of the rock area. That's what I say with layers. It doesn't have to be thick layers, you just build them up slowly. Just helps it to stand out a bit. Just using very diluted neutral tint. And the water brushes are I know a lot of purist watercolourists will say that they are absolutely no good, and to start with, I would have agreed with them. But if you can find a good water brush, I find that they actually are perfect for watercolour, because you need a lot of water. That's the whole point of watercolour, is to have them transparent, translucent, clear, pale, beautiful washes. And you build them up. So you would start with this, very pale, very wet, hardly you can see none of it. And you let it do its job. I mean, it dries, and then you can build up. If you add too much, it becomes obviously not transparent. It will become very heavy. And watercolours are supposed to be not heavy, if you're real traditional. Not sure what else to add, whether I really need to. Thinking that this looks quite finished. I might just add a few birds that are off home in the evening. And they literally are like little V's. Three of them there and four there. Just makes the page connected. And I think, guys, I'm going to say that that is it. I hope that you have enjoyed this video and found it helpful. And I'm going to catch you on the next video really, really soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.